Hello people, how are we doing? Going to do another vlog today, but I'm going to show you a little bit of history, something that I found out recently. Now, where I live in sort of Essex, there's kind of a rich history of stuff that's gone on, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the history of the earliest bottled water company. We've got the Evian and all the rest of it that we've got today, but I don't think a lot of people realise that kind of industry was around almost 100 years ago. And I'm going to show you some of the remnants of one of the local ones that used to be around here. So, be back shortly. See you soon. Right, what you're looking at now, the sign says Hovell's Farm, Livery and Stables. And the story starts here. About 100 years ago, the then owners of this particular place, I'll give you a quick view of it. It's now a livery stable primarily, and they don't like people looking. It's like everything else in this world, you've got to be careful where you film these days. Basically, they found somewhere around these area, the owners at the time, they dug a well, basically for the livestock. It used to be cattle or something like that, as memory serves. That's what I've basically read. And what it actually says is they found a well with brackish water, and apparently it had some kind of novel qualities. See the old swift flying around there? And it was supposed to have some kind of healing qualities or something like that, pure, a bit like basically it was the kind of the health water of the time. So an enterprising pub farmer, an enterprising pub landlord in London who lived in Southend, heard about this and thought there could be some money to be made. So basically what he did was he bought up a piece of land, which I'm actually going to take you down to shortly, and set up what in effect was probably the one of two local water, a fresh sort of like fresh remedy water type places. I can't think of the right word for it. All cure water, you know, the kind of thing that cures just about anything. Probably gives you more things than that, but I'm going to take you down this little pathway, and we'll show you what's left of the industry as it stood. Right, this is, I believe, from what I've seen of old maps, is the main road that used to be down here. Yeah. So basically, food kicks and health kicks have been around for a bloody long time. Right, I'm going to switch you off. Right, the next part of the story is here. It used to be all open around here. That little piece of wood there, which you're going to see in front of you, I've got pictures which were taken from around about this point of a roadway that actually goes through these woods where they are now into the small complex or whatever there is that's left of it. I'm going to take you in. I'm not going to go through the front because it's a bit difficult, so you have to go in through the side. But what I'll try and do is I've got some pictures which I will try to marry up over the top of this video, or I'll insert them in there so that you can actually see. It'll give you a better idea of what I'm talking about, because at the moment you can't see bugger all. There's nothing left. It's all buried. So what we're going to do is walk into the woods a little bit further up. It's about a quarter of a mile from where I switched off the video previously, so it's a bit of a long old troll. But apparently this used to be the main road in, and on Google Maps, when you look at this particular area, you come down and zoom onto it, you can still see slight rut marks where the road used to go into there, but it's not visible now. Once we get into the woods, you can see a little bit more of it. I'm not going to show you the entire thing first of all. See if it's still up. They haven't fucking flattened it already. No, it's still there. Green woodpecker. Yeah, it's still there. Like a ghost looming out of the woods. Strange. There it is. Yeah. Well, okay. I'll show you the rest of it in a minute. Now, what we're going to be looking at shortly is the remnants of Vange well number 5. But first, I'm deliberately not showing you it. So, yeah. I'm being naughty, aren't I? Right, this is where the road may or may not have come in. It's a bit difficult to see. In fact, it's further around here. Here we go. That's more like it, yeah. Okay. At this particular point, you can see about, sorry, I've gone back on myself now, about here, where those trees are running through there, it is extremely difficult to see. But there is the remnants about there, where I'm looking through now. If you look between those two trees, just up behind the branches, there's two trees, one to the right, one to the left. You can just see the remnants of what remains of a rutted style road. All it was just like a bank with two sort of like two tyre ruts in it, two sets of tyre ruts. There is a picture of it, but obviously because of the way it's changed so much, it's not really going to be relevant. Okay, fine. What happened was, this location was bought by this publican. His name was Edwin Cash, and he became known as Farmer Cash. Whether he was hoping to make a lot of money out of this place or not, I don't really know. But basically, there is another picture that I have that was actually taken. But I don't want to show you too much at the moment, because I'm going to show you around the remnants of the anomaly that's left. There was a picture taken which actually went right the way along the front of the building, and what the building was a mizzen hut, an old army mizzen hut, where the soldiers used to keep. They bought it off of a local army camp, and it was set up along the front here. You can't actually see it, but you can see the remnants of it, and I have actually got access, or I've got hold of a picture which actually shows various people sitting outside, the cars sitting over to the right where I'm actually looking at the moment, and the building itself as it extended right the way along over to there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and have a look at the building. Now what you can see here is a pathway. I'm just about to get on it now. Well worn. Okay, now you can see it. Now what we're looking at here is what in essence was the front door. Okay, and I'll show you how far the mizzen hut actually stretched. What you can see behind it is the last of the anomaly. There's not much of it left. It's been hammered over the years, and I think it's been it's had bits and pieces nicked from it. But I'm going to show you the floor. I've actually got a picture, probably taken from roughly whereabouts I was standing, of the bloke who used to own it, Farmer Cash, and one of his customers actually standing in front of the door, and you can actually look through the door into the back of the building, and there was a window directly behind the door, where you can see that archway. There was another wall to the mizzen hut, and it went through. You could actually see the windows, but you can't see much through the windows because of the old photograph. Right, let's go take you into the building itself. Now as you can see, front door, okay, it was actually based on brickwork, and it went right the way down here, and you can see the bank at the back. I'll show you. You can almost still walk along the wall as it goes, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Down to here. Whoops, making a mess of the place. All this banked ivy was all part of the building. Now this, I'm making an assumption, because I heard that it was actually broken into two parts. Excuse me, one was a pump room and one was a bottling room. Now I'm working on the perception. Now as you can see, it's not easy to tell, but underneath that ivy you can see a slight turn to the right, a right angle. That's the back end of the wall. We'll go along the back of it and I'll show you. Bloody trees falling down. Here we go. I'm stepping over the outside of the building now. You might be able to see the line as it goes along. If I clear that, clear the ivy, you can actually see bits of the wall. Look, That's it, drop your sunglasses. Bits of the wall that actually goes right the way along. So it goes right the way along here until you're going through the entrance here. Back of the wall was where these trees are. You can see the back of the wall there. And it banks right the way along. Here, you can even see some bits sticking out, some old pipe work, look. I don't know if you can see that where my boot is. Some of the old pipe work. Now I believe, fucking beer bottles, I believe that this was actually the pump room. The reason I jumped to that conclusion is very simply, there were 5 wells built at this place. There's one of them. There's a second one down here. As you can see, it goes right the way down. They're all filled in now, but they've got all sorts of shit in them. Where the other 2 were, I don't actually know. Because they've either been filled in or whatever, but I've heard that there were 5 anyway. We're still not too sure. Right, step over that one. You can see it's a long way down. More pipe work. So you can see where the pipe work actually goes in. Probably electronically lifted to fill the various water tanks that are actually stored in here. I don't know whether they purified it or not in any way, shape or form. I haven't got a clue. And we've got the back wall of the building again. You can just about make it out underneath the ivy. Not easy to see, but it's there. There you go. Back wall. Underneath the ivy. Yeah. So it's quite a large size, this missing hut. Standard army size, I think. I haven't got a clue what the dimensions of the things are. Now, what we do, obviously I don't think there was a door through here, because according to that photograph I've got of them, where they stand by the front door, just down here. There's the front door and that's the outside. There was just a window. Right, now then, we've got all this, which was obviously something to do with the pump room. And what we've got down here is a metric arse ton of glass of all sorts. There you go, you can see it, tons of it. Now I've seen one of the bottles and they're quite a standard shape, quite a novel shape with Vange water on them. So it's quite a large building. Now what we do is we go over to the main entrance, and as you can see there's a bit of a wall here, but there's a gap through it. There was a door, and this goes into another area, which I'm presuming, once again I've got no historical fact to back it up, you can see bits and pieces of wall again, right down there, right down at ground level, you may just be able to see it, big concrete slab, where the trees have actually grown along inside of it, to here, where it's actually all kind of fallen down. Might have been a customer area, bottling area, I'm not really too sure. I'm inclined to think that it was a sales area more than anything, so maybe the sales part went in this side and the actual work went into that side. So that really is what the building was, and as far as I can see what it actually did. And if you see that trunk in the background, from where I'm standing on this concrete plinth, which was the end of the wall, to that trunk, it's about, got some concrete foundations there. I don't know, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 yards, or maybe 8 metres to the central wall, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 yards to the for the second compartment, for the main sort of like bottling and water storage area. So anyway, that was what the building was used for. Like I say, I have seen photographs of the glass bottles, and on my last time here I had to sift through to see if I could find anything interesting. All you can find is broken bottles, green and white it seems to be most of the time, and how much of that is actually modern and how much of it isn't, I don't know. But here you can see This is a bit of tiling from the roof of the building. There's a lot of it about, and I don't know whether it's asbestos or not, so not too sure. Here we go. Bottom of a Vange bottle. Hang on, see if there's anything on it. Bloody sunglasses, pain in the arse. Right. Let's have a look at this bottle. Unfortunately, it's got no markings on it whatsoever, not that I can see. But it's a fairly thick base, and it looks like the oval shape of the bottles that they used to use. So yeah, there's still stuff about here. Excuse me. Well, anyway, let's go on to the anomaly. Now, I first saw this. There's only one photograph remaining of it. One photograph of it as it stood in its glory. It used to be all covered in white, and this is what they call Vange well number 5. And here it is. There are no end of photographs where people come around and look at it. It's quite a large building. I actually came up and measured it up once, and I was going to do a 3D model of it. And I also contacted English Heritage to see if they could, they would be interested in in listing it as basically putting it down as a listed building. But they basically turned around to me and said it's in too much of a state of disrepair. I thought really that was the idea of English Heritage and listed buildings, you know, to try and sort of preserve anomalies of this type. As you can see, I'll take you inside in a minute. It has been graffitied to buggery, and it's been subject to a hell of a lot of vandalism. What I will do is I'll actually put the original picture over it by the side of it. It's the only known picture. It was taken back in 1953 for a magazine, and when I actually looked at the picture, which I actually got on this phone but I can't actually show you at the moment, it was a bit difficult to tell from where it was actually taken, because in the picture it only shows a certain portion of it. It doesn't show the building, doesn't show any of the dips or anything like that. It just shows it sort of growing. And when I looked at the the photograph, and I looked at the land around it, this was the kind of angle that the picture was taken from, because it doesn't show anything of the buildings. It's just sitting quite literally in the middle of a field. There's no vandalism. It's all in one piece, and apparently it was taken about 1953, something like that. Obviously since then it's been a bit mangled through time. Right, let's take you inside. As you can see, 2 pillars completely and totally disappeared. One there. You can see where they were in the top of the ceiling. When you look at the plinths that have fallen down, there's one here, and that portion's still there, and there's a complete pillar there. One of the 3 remaining, I think. It looks like those first 2 have been nicked, and they're probably propping up someone's someone's front door. Right, it was built in 2 sort of like separate stages. It had this outhouse which was open. Basically, as you can see, there's 2 of the pillars there. That's the side that hasn't been mangled in any way, shape or form. This is the outer ring. Archway, as you can see. Here, the pillars and the entire plinth have actually collapsed. One of the pillars is there. See where it's busted completely off. Let's get myself out of the way. One of the pillars there. Let's go around the outside of the plinth. Fallen completely down. And the funny part is, there's the plinth, and there's the other pillar underneath it. You can see that the entire lot has just collapsed, gone. The open ring, completely gone. Let's go around and get a better view. That entire lot is on the floor there. Okay, going around this side. Excuse me. You can already see the total state of disrepair in it. Back to the final pillar again. Let's walk down into it. Now if we go inside the central portion, that wood used to be all the way around. You can see the slot holes for it. I don't know whether it supported some kind of perspex roof or whatever, I really don't know. Right, we go into it. Now this is Vange well number 5. As you can see, it is full of shit. Little walkway round. I don't know how high this brick wall must have went, because I suspect there was electrical equipment in here to lift the water. I can't imagine some people sort of trying to haul it out of the bucket personally. And what used to house. Be careful I don't go down the wall, don't fancy that. Then with my size 11s I'd go down it. There are lots of photographs taken of this, an awful lot. Now from what I understand of the history, like I say, it's one day it's going to come, this is going to collapse. You can see the state of disrepair of it, cracks in the walls, cracks in that main wall going right up the top. As long as it don't fall down while I'm inside it, I'm alright. Get a fucking headache if that fell on my head. Probably a bit more than that. That really is Vange well number 5. Showing you as much of it as I can see. And this has been here since the 20s. So it's almost 100 years old. And when you see the picture, which I will put up in the video, you won't believe how much the change has gone. It's crazy. But that really is a bit of history of the local area. This place used to be the hub of a very thriving water business. Yeah. It's hard to imagine it now. Having seen the pictures though, I can imagine it. That's the crazy thing. Well, there you go. That's a quick walk around Cash's Well. There you go. A little bit of history on the Vange water business. Tonic water, Evian water, fresh water. From what I understand, they did some tests on it. It was found out to have no health benefits whatsoever. Stick with tap water, people. See you soon. Bye. Right, as a kind of like a final update on that little tour. From what I've read of the history, and from what I understand of it, the Vange Water Company actually ran from about 1919 to about 1925. It used to supply a massive number of pharmacies, and apparently it had hundreds of people a day visiting it to buy this water. They did have a rival which was further over in Basildon, but that farm has long since disappeared and there's no remnants of it. It's all under housing estate, so I couldn't even find any details of it. But it was basically, it went out of business either because the fad passed or because of bad marketing. I really don't know. But from what I understand, the business was actually sold in 1925, and it was bought up by a company, and thereafter I just think it was liquidated and the main building was removed. But because they call it the temple, based on the Grecian temple apparently, it was just too expensive, so they just left it, and so endeth the story. I understand that there may still be relatives alive, descendants alive of the original owners, but most of the family that were involved, the husband and the son and daughter, have long since passed. So if there's anyone with any information or any pictures or anything like that, please feel free. What I'll do is I'll leave as much information as I can about it, or what I've found, in the comments, or rather in the description section below, so you can have a read of it. Enjoy. All the best. Thanks for being with me. See ya.